And they just dressed for press. We want to move.
Another bit.
Yeah. Hey, you only get one ration in the.
Yeah, and I'm
Have
happy
it
with
with
this
it.
to happen.
If you would take that one thing and then the budget stuff.
My computer on.
Rationing.
I know. I got two others going and it's on. Yeah.
That's a smart way.
It is work. If you have bus. Jesus.
Yes.
Okay.
It had one. So for election. She has two. Yeah. You call 14 grand and for a roll call.
So I just see a motion.
You can see this. Yeah. Why do we do? There's two of them on there. There's the the two meetings, I don't know. There's how much, there's one like the budget and the other one is regular meeting. You can go ahead.
Call to order, roll call please. That's what I was asking.
All right,
Oh, you don't.
Director Burr,
Here.
Director Clayton.
Here.
Director Lee,
Here.
Director Streeter.
Here.
Here.
Approval of the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second that motion.
Motion is second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Jay, I think this is you.
This is me. All right, so we are at the second hearing. The first one for tonight, but this is for the documents we went over at the first hearing. I'm gonna blaze through these because I don't think anybody out there is one to go over these final numbers, ask for any of this documentation. So I'm going to start with our proposed school budget. That looks like this one right there. Look at top part are our resources, and then we go from right to left with the actual 2025. So, and the taxes levied on property, 4.2 million. We're re-estimating in 2026, the middle column, 4.329768. And then we're budgeting for a little higher, 4,431,233. As you remember, this is providing us authority to spend money, not actually we're going to receive that amount. Coming all the way down to your first bold is the total resources. So we're going to take that, we're going to take our state aid, our nutrition, our Title I grants, federal grants. And we're gonna do the same thing. And in 2025, last year, we ended receiving 5.5 million. We're re-estimating this year I'm sorry, I read the wrong one, sorry. 17,428,000. We're re-estimating a little higher than it's gonna come in, but some of this has to do with our saved dollars. 22,340,000. And then next year we have 22,132,000. Now, we know that's going to be higher because we won't have all those saved dollars, but that's kind of how it works. You go from the actual re-estimated a little higher and likewise. So those are the authority we're bringing in, not the actual dollars, starting with instruction and going down. These are all of our requirements that we're paying out. So starting in 2025, we actually spent on our instruction category $6,267,856. Our re-estimated for this year, and again, we're quite a ways through the year, but we still have a lot of expenditures to go, at $6,450,000. And then our saved budget estimate is $655,000. Remembering all this column is doing is giving us authority next year to spend. We won't spend that much, but we have the authority through the state to do that. So we're going to go on down to that total expenditures that we have. And I'm going to read the correct line this time. 12,386,000 for 2025. Estimating 26 around 12,865,000. I think it's going to be probably right around there with all of our projects going on. And then you're going to see the budget 2027 being higher at 13,252,000. Again, we're not going to spend that much money. We're asking the state to give us the authority to spend up to that. All right. So with that, the ending fund balance is there for you. I'll let you read that. Our total requirements at the bottom. But the real thing that everybody wants to hear is what is the tax rate? It's $11.13, 601. Any questions on that sheet? If not, we'll turn it to the adoption page, this one right here. And going real quick over this one, top to bottom, our total special program funding. You add our instructional support and voted PEPL together. We have a 3% surtax on the instructional support. We have 0 on voted PEPL. We used to have some on there, but that's come off. So then when we come down to the levy, what the levy looks like, in the left column, it's going to give you the dollars. The right column, it's going to give you the levy rate. And you can kind of see our general fund levy at the basic is going to be $6.74. Throw our instructional support on there, that's another 52 cents, coming to $7.27. We know we're shooting a little high in management because we're going to end the school year negative in that department. So we're going to have $2.18 onto that one. Coming down to the subtotal voted physical plan and equipment, that's $1.34. That is the maximum by law, and we're taking all of that. So that right there is $1.34. Right now, they are discussing at the State Department of bringing that $1.34 down. which would cause us not to receive as much dollars to be used in the voted PEPAL and board. Both of them would be reduced. The regular PEPAL is 33 cents, and like I said, one of the language says that the 33 cents would actually go down as well, from my understanding. They are also, while we're on it too, talking about the saved dollars. When you look at your worksheets, the purple and the gold, both of those are being talked about being reduced at the State Department. How much will we receive on that? And when you look at that, what does that affect? Buildings, buses, technology, and all the things that we work on to keep our building nice and shiny.
And they're looking at reducing that.
Yep, there's measures up there, right? They're talking about it now.
So the 2% that they give us earlier is gonna be, I thought, okay.
That 2% is on the green. General fund. Yep. So again, that takes us to $1.13. Any questions on that one? And then we have the nifty graph from last time, when you take a look at the history, where we've been, going all the way back to 13, it was 1230. And then we definitely had some decreases along that line, and we held steady, and then, you know, that's all the ebb and flow. You can't just stay at one spot forever, but it is sure nice when we were doing, you know, taking it down from 1057, 1018, and then we got to take it down to 1010. We got to leave it there another year. It's nice to keep it steady. So that's what we're always aiming for. And, you know, going from 1111 to 1113, rounded up to 1114, that's still not bad. You know, our 6 value inches up, and hopefully bringing in dollars from more of our corporate sponsors. Needs a little less out of our property, but not saying it always is that time. Any questions on this? When we get to the budget, I am going to go through the presentation on it a little more in depth. These people are not here for that, so I thought I'd keep rolling. Sound good?
Yeah.
All right. We have no written comments, and does anyone like to talk about the budget tonight? If not, I'm not seeing any talkers. We can adjourn this meeting.
So there's no shortfall for next year of anything, then we're good to go?
We'll talk about that a little more in there, but
Right.
yeah, the shortfall part of it.
Okay. Right.
I'll make a motion to adjourn the budget hearing.
I'll second that.
A motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Motion adjourned.
We've met the legal requirements for the second meeting, and we can go into our regular meeting with the calendar.
All right, call to order our regular meeting and roll call, Ashley. Nobody left. It isn't for you. Yeah. 3 minutes to spare.
Yeah, we can.
All right, Director Byrd,
Here.
Director Slayton,
Here.
Director Lee,
Here.
Director Greer,
Here.
Director Steinhoff.
Here.
The hearing agenda.
I make a motion, we approve the agenda presented. If you need.
Yes.
I second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
All right. In there, I have updated the two calendars. Now I'm kicking myself because I did not print these out for you. I'm checking to make sure I got the, yep, I got the YouTube out.
Open forum.
No,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No.
Yeah, I skipped.
I
So two things at
I
once.
did too. All right. Open forum, anybody have anything they want to talk about? Go ahead.
We're just here to talk about our trip to Sandy, Utah. The kids are gonna be competing at the 2026 Western National Bullseye and 3D tournaments. We're gonna be taking 13 kids. 13 of them will be shooting bullseye and 11 will be shooting 3D. Parents are just kind of responsible for transportation and lodging while we're out there, and yeah, they'll be shooting all 3 days, and yeah, fundraising's been going well, and we just want to say thank you for allowing us to give these kids this experience. So,
Thank you. Good luck. Yeah, that's exciting. Anyone else?
They have anything to say? Iron?
So that
Okay.
they're competing as individually and as a team then, right? Is that-
They qualified as a team.
Okay, so they'll just shoot at, the 11 and 13 are shooting as a team
Yep.
for team scores, okay. Very good.
And it's the first time that they've ever qualified for nationals as a team, so
That's great.
it's only gonna get better from here on out.
Good job. Or good luck. Yeah.
Safe travels.
That's in Utah, right?
Yep.
That'd be awesome.
When is it?
It's April 23rd, 24th, and 25th.
Next Thursday through Saturday.
Coming right up.
She didn't want to go out, and they forced her. And I said, "We're getting you a bowl," and here she is.
Good.
She put it in 6th and 7th grade, and she gave it up, and then, yeah, so I'm
Good.
excited for the kids.
We're too. So. Good deal. Guess nobody else? Sure, Byron? All right.
If you're not seeing anything, that'd be great, huh?
All right, now.
Yeah, that, approval of the hearing agenda. So now we have to go into a hearing. This hearing can be within our regular meeting, but we have to do an approval. The board has to vote to go into this hearing. Okay.
Do I move that we go into the hearing and approve the hearing and agenda, I don't know, the meeting for the hearing? Whatever it is we gotta do. Make it sound better than that when you put it in, would you? Greeter stumbled through it all and finally got it to be said.
I'll second whatever Greeter just said. There goes motion in a second. This isn't a roll call, is it? No.
No, we haven't done that.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. Here we go. I think it's unanimous.
All right, so we have two calendars to look at. And in the hearing here, I'm gonna focus on the after semester hearing. And when I turned it into a PDF, you see the top kind of went to the bottom, so I will have to sort that out. Our issue this year is, legislature has already said there will be a second count day on January 15th. So we have one on October 1st, now we have a second on January 15th. If we end break, I have been, as I've written to you, a proponent of ending the semester before Christmas my entire educational career, for the fact of get it done, doesn't matter how many days it is, you're done, you go on break, and then you don't spend a couple weeks catching back up to go over finals. Okay, so then the kids that graduate early, which is in state law, we have to allow kids to graduate when they have completed all their courses, and they want to. So that is all that I've researched, gone through it. So if they're done with classes, they want to graduate, they can do it at that time. If they do, and we have 8 kids graduate, that means out of the funding we get for the state for those 8 kids, we only get half. So we only get 4 kids of funding because they didn't go to the second semester. Now, during the second semester, we're not able to cut any expenditures for the education of them because that all had to be done this month if we were doing that. So we're kind of stuck in a rock and a hard place. This year, we only had 4 graduate early, so that would put us at 2. Some years we have more, some we have less. Some districts that are bigger than us have smaller. They said they're gonna eat it. Some of the bigger districts say, we have 100+ graduate early. We can't. So that's the big question. I've asked all the superintendents in our AEA what they're doing and how they're looking at it, and everybody has a different view. A lot in our conferences would like to still end before the vacation and then keep those kids for the second half of the year, the second semester, whether it's through a work study, but they're still counted as students, or they have a project that they have to come to school until the 15th. You've all, well, except for you, all have had or have seniors. You think that's gonna fly? I don't know.
Coming back.
Coming back, anything like that.
Not every day.
It's pretty tough. Because
I don't know.
Do they have to actually be in attendance to be counted on the roll?
yes, they have to be there.
They can't just skip school for 10 days and.
No,
This is, they have to come every day.
They get it
they
done.
would have to come every day.
Is the attendance loss.
It's the attendance. Now, other states, where we're moving, other states, some of them have it every month, that there's a count. And I guess some states count almost every day. But some of them also count by attendance. They're not at school, you don't get money. So if they've gone on a trip to Mexico with their family, you don't get paid for those kids for those days that they're gone. That's in other states, and that's kind of where this is all heading towards. But for right now, our problem is January 15th and what we do. So
What are we doing now? What is it now?
Well, we finished before.
Before, just so they don't have to
They got
come
busy now.
back for Christmas
Yeah.
break.
So-
But we've never had a second count date to get money from the state.
Mhm.
I could say, years and years and years ago, we always finished the second week of January. But that was a long time ago, and that agreed was less than ideal.
Less than ideal. So.
How do you remedy that? That's-
Well, this, right now, the only remedy that we know of, and that's why I'm proposing this calendar, is we utilize this, we go to Christmas break, we come back on January 4th, and then, we end on January 15th. The 18th is a PD day, so the kids will not be here, and then the 19th, we start the second semester. Everything else, both calendars are pretty equal, but January just looks a little different in that. So the proposal is, this is what we're hearing on tonight. We approve this. Once you go through this process, you can always change the calendar. You know, think of snow days. You're always changing the calendar. So if there is, say the legislature says, okay, we kind of flubbed on that one. We're gonna make it so seniors can leave 2 weeks early, or what have you. Or we're gonna hold you harmless on seniors. We're not gonna do a second count for them, whatever it may be. And then we can do it before Christmas. That is what I would rather have. And we can modify our December and January calendar for that. Otherwise, pretty much everything else is the same. And the important part is we gotta put out that, you know, we're gonna start school on August 24th.
That's-
What do you guys think? What do you guys think over there?
I guess what's the TRWA have an opinion on?
Well, I would say, in my opinion, it's probably split. Your elementary teachers would probably want it, everybody wants it to end before Christmas, but the reality of it is you can't afford to, if the state puts it in the law, you can't afford to not get $50,000 or what, you know, some years it could be twice that, you know, so budgetary wise, you gotta go with this and hope somebody has common sense down there.
Good luck.
Good luck.
Come on now. Yeah, it sounds like you're pretty strapped. I mean, not a whole lot of options.
The only other question, too, just while we're on the calendars, you talked about that, do you know where they're at on that, having to have a week break, a week-long break for,
Well, there's another one. They're not finished on that. One proposal
That
has an
spring break you're talking?
added line that there will be a 1 week
That week.
that no one's at school, no one can come into school.
What month would that be?
Well, it's spring, and they haven't said over Easter. I mean, we normally do ours around Easter. But I've not heard a date, it's just spring. And maybe you get to choose, but I doubt it. Because you're gonna have to choose between basketball, wrestling.
the end of your
and-
winter
Your winter
sports
and
and the
spring
start of
sports.
your spring
It's
sports.
gonna
as
have to
far
be
as
between.
accountability.
What's the logic? Is there-
Well, before they wanted four or 5 week breaks.
Yeah,
In your 5 week breaks, so 1 a quarter and 1 in the summer. And we already have 1 in the summer and 1 at
They just want it.
Christmas time.
I mean, they think that's, I'm.
They think everybody needs a break, 1, and everybody will take their vacation then, and then they don't take their kids out of school, and they should be in attendance. And there's probably a lot of other things that they've come up with this or been sold this story, but yeah, we're not done with the calendar, as I guess.
That's what I was saying, that would be something we would have to adjust for if that would pass.
We would have to adjust.
But we can do that, we can approve this and then still make that adjustment and not have a.
Yeah, The only thing in the law is that we have to have a hearing on the calendar. Ideally, the board approves the calendar, and then we can change the calendar.
We don't approve that till later, right?
Yep. You know, so,
Any more questions?
questions?
Whatever you guys think they ought to do, that don't mean.
How many dollars is it per student that everyone lose out like that?
That's,
Well, I
I mean,
mean,
say-
each student's $8,400. You know,
Well, that.
you would get half of that on those seniors. There we go. You know, and, okay, so maybe it's a year like this year, we have 4, so you're only losing 2. But you have a family of 5 that moves over Christmas. Now it's 7. You know, before, those kids leave at Christmas, that family of 5 leaves, didn't matter. You still got funding. I'm just hoping and praying and that we have kids to replace them by the next count day. Start.
I wouldn't think that would even be into play, because you still got the same overhead.
Same over.
Whether they're there, I mean, it don't make sense at all to do that for half a year. Still got the same amount of teachers, still got to make everything. Or they would take that away.
Yeah. So,
Making sense and
Oh, boy.
isn't,
In making law, it's not the same thing.
yeah. You know, not trying to be political, but
That's crazy.
our lawmakers don't have the, whether it's education, whatever, you know, they're making laws based without firsthand knowledge, whatever it is, whether it's your business or Jeff's or education or medical or whatever. So, this is the way we can save some money, and this would be fair because people are leaving one school and going to another or whatever.
Okay. So we have to vote on nothing now.
No, we just have to motion to adjourn this public hearing.
Okay, I'll make a motion to adjourn this public meeting then. If that's, good with everybody.
I'll second it. You got a motion, and a second, all in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion passed. All right, we're gonna go to old business, consent agenda.
okay, minutes are there for you to look at. I didn't hear anything on the bills, for that. I didn't have any notes for Melissa on activity fund reports, so I think we're good there. The monthly balance sheet. Is in there, looks very similar to last year percent-wise. And unless you guys have questions, we can go through this because we got a lot of other stuff and I'm gonna go visit the concession stands, so.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second that.
Motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. We'll move on to new business. All right, Sheldon, you're up.
Good stuff. So we wrapped up Q3 parent-teacher conferences. Those are held March 30th and April 1st. We had a lot of parent participation. I think we ended up having around 8 parents, guardians throughout the whole elementary that were not able to come to conferences for whatever reason, but we made the phone calls and we were able to get their report cards to their parents. During that time, our social committee, led by Amy, they hosted a Tattoo the Teacher that turned out to be a really great success for the elementary. So then that was fun. The next week, all the teachers were tatted up that following Tuesday. ISAS testing began this week. We'll run that through the 24th. I know elementary looks a little different than Secondary sites will do all of our testing this week, and the next week will be our makeup dates. Spring fast testing, that'll begin then on April 27th. And then we've had some field trips. Kindergarten went to the circus in Sioux City on April 10th, and then our preschool, they visited the nature center this Tuesday. I know we have a couple other field trips coming up here towards the end of April, beginning of May. Our book vending machine, that was donated by the Westwood Education Foundation, that's been delivered and is in the school, that's in the elementary commons, if anyone wants. Lori Klinkle, our curriculum director, she continues to finalize just the upcoming orders for our school year, both elementary and secondary. And then just some upcoming events that we have on the elementary side is spelling bee, switch day, track and field day. I know again, Mrs. Wiseman, our guidance counselor, Amy over here, she's planning to do a career walk day with her sixth graders, which is something new. And then just our last day of school. So just trying to wrap everything up, and there's just a lot of stuff going on, but all in all, it's been really good past year, so.
What's the career walk day?
It's like the career fair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Used to do.
Cool. Great.
Shelby?
Yeah.
Matt, you're out.
Like Shelby said, parent-teacher conferences on the high school side were well attended on Monday. We had freshman orientation that night, plus meeting with juniors and senior parents for FAFSA to get the paperwork started to register for college and such. We also had a weight room meeting, just kind of went through the program, who designs our program. Was well attended. One thing that came out of it is the parents really would like to see like a junior high portion added to the summer weightlifting that Mr. Schaefer does. So we're in discussions with that, how that would look. ISAFs, they're all on computers now, and it was a little bit of a struggle to get things going, just because states had different issues this year, but we got it going. We'll do Tuesday and Thursday. On next Thursday, only 2 grade levels, 8 and 10 take science. So the rest of the students will have fun activities, and the students that may have missed a test can do their makeup. Yesterday, we had to train the intersection for a half hour. So we had a lot of kids coming in late, but the state and Mr. Lutt shared a copy with Mrs. Muntrath and myself of the new civics test requirement. It's a requirement for all graduates starting in 2027. So Jill and I and Mrs. Muntrath came up with kind of an implementation plan and how that'll look and how we'll do that next year. So confident that all the material, just looking at the test, is covered in between American history and government. So should just be something that students have to do. I don't see any students getting held up by it. Prom scheduled this weekend. Grand March starts at 5. Dances at the Bellevue Ballroom up in Sioux City. Senior trip was today. They went to Tree Rush Adventures in Bellevue. Michelle just got back at about 6:30, so the kids had a lot of fun, and was weather held out, so it was a good day. And this Friday is Ag Day, barring weather and all that stuff. Like Shelby said, I think after Easter break, it's pretty much downhill, but it seems it winds up because there's something every day, and just trying to get all the activities in and still worry about schoolwork.
I see on the news about the SAT test or the score that they're shortening the amount of questions, amount of time they have to take those tests. Is that?
We don't have many students take the SAT.
That's not a mandatory deal?
No. Some of the students take ACT for college, but a lot of colleges have
That's a.
are not even requiring it anymore.
Okay, well, wait,
But-
it sounded that was.
Yeah, I like, when my kids took it, they were done well before the allotted time that they had, so I don't think it's a big impact on students. You know, it's just.
Okay. Good.
Thanks, Matt.
Yep.
All right, Justin.
Sprinklers are on, we were good, no leaks up until the other night, and we got a major one now. Out in the field, just gotta let it dry up so we get down and fix it.
Where's the leak at?
On the football field.
It's that area you got,
Yeah, it's pretty deep too. Turn them on the practice field, takes 7 hours, it made it to zone 4. So zone 4, 5, and 6 ran, and it just pumped it all out on the football field. Because it didn't have enough pressure, so just a chance to take when you're running them when you're not here, but you know, you don't go out every hour and check on them either, so. Ground fertilizer was put down, obviously we got some grubs, so we put some grub killer down today. We sprayed for them last year, we used liquid. Obviously, it cost us in the background because the liquid doesn't work as good, so. Other than that, trying to keep up on mowing and things in the building.
what are these got flagged and marked?
For the trees that we spoke for,
Ah,
last week. Don't think we'll get to them after looking at them, they loaded in the last couple of days, so it'll have to be next fall before we can move them. So we had the tree spade lined up to move them. I just said, hey, it's too wet, we're not gonna run it up the ground. Now the tree's budded, so now we can't move them. I mean, we could take a chance, but for what we're gaining, it's probably not worth it. So he's supposed to come down tomorrow, take a look, see what he thinks, and we'll go from there.
Where the trees coming from?
Out on the interstate,
Oh.
so. Other than that, that's all I have.
Thanks, Justin.
Thank you.
Jay.
The shortest I ever have on reports. We had our site visit with our workman's comp group, SFM is who we get our workman's comp from, and I got a copy of it there for you. Things that we need to get done for them, but otherwise, they're a good group to have. They pay attention to us, they hear us, and when we do have any issues, they work for us. And with that being said, I'm gonna knock on wood. They are very impressed of how our claims have been working. That's it.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jay. Thanks. All right, excellent.
Coming.
Okay, reading of the school board policies.
All right, we have our second reading. These are 102, 102 R1, and then E 1 through 3. You did the first reading last month. This all has to do with language by the state for our equal education opportunity. Those changes have been made. We just need approval, and they'll be up in our board book online.
I'll make a motion to approve the reading as listed below.
I'll second that.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, we'll go to resignations.
Okay. Shelby received resignation for Kayleen Hess. I don't remember the dates exactly on all that. And then Monday, I received one in the afternoon for Therese Bloomsbury, and I have the recommendation there for you. And you can word it however you want, but that was just an example.
I'll make a motion to approve the resignation of Kaylin Hess. Just do this too.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna do both of them or single?
No,
Just one at a time.
one at a time.
I second that.
All right, we got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed.
Make a motion to approve the resignation of Teresa Longsberry with appreciation of her 14 years of service.
I don't, I'd like to say something on that deal. That is, when we lose these people like that without, I don't know, she left because of an opportunity, I guess, because she didn't take the band deal, or didn't take it, but that's an underlying deal. To offer, she didn't take it, of not taking the job that she was offered, and there wasn't enough money. And the people that we have, she's been here for 14 years, it just makes me ill to lose people like that. When every time we lose people like that, that's been here that long and has done that much with our kids and the young kids, it's a chink in our armor for our school. And it's also in integrity of our school we lose. Because these people have been there, I mean, she was here through COVID, her and Ms. Vanderhoof held everything together. And if we didn't, she left because we didn't offer or couldn't fill her for a half a day. That was a half day. I understand the music was a half a day project, right? Is that correct? I mean, she was only offered the music, her position was only half a day. And she wanted a full day. Is that correct?
No, she's a full day employee.
Okay.
Mhm.
What was she doing all day? I mean, was that all music then?
Yes.
Mrs. Lonsberry?
Yeah. Yeah.
She taught me, I thought she only done music.
Elementary music in the
For half a
morning
day.
at Whiting, and
But
then
she lost that,
afternoon here.
I got that, but she lost the job in Whiting, did she not?
Well,
That job, they
yes,
just continued that.
because they filled that position.
Okay, so, but there was no way that we could fill that up, or find a job to fill her half a day so she could stay with the school?
That's what we were discussing, how to fill that half a day up.
Because when you lose this type of thing, you're also gonna lose her two kids.
Yeah.
And we just talked about how much we lose when we lose the kids before about this semester, taking head count. So that's 16,000 right there we're gonna lose when she leaves. So plus a bus driver that we can't get, plus whatever else we can't get, and she's here to serve, and we're gonna lose her to Hinton? I just don't get it. I mean, all the people we need, and we lose somebody like that. I don't get it. I want to speak that.
So we couldn't fill
I don't
another
get it.
half a day, or we couldn't?
Yes, we could, and that's what we were discussing and talking about.
Okay.
But
But she just chose to go to.
No, that's just not. What jobs was she offered to take?
She has a job. We were talking about what she would do during the day for the full-time employment.
Here, but she wasn't
Right.
full-time here.
She was full-time.
Okay, but she lost her half-time job on Whiting.
Mhm.
So we needed to fill that half job, we needed to fill that here then to make.
Correct.
But we didn't do that.
That's
couldn't-
what
we
we
couldn't
were
do-
working on.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, what was she offered then? What
In
was
our last meeting that we sat down and talked about, what we were looking at was paid for vocal music. And then a fifth, sixth band,
Okay,
and then 7 through 12 band.
but she didn't want the band. Is that correct?
She was having hesitations.
Okay, so that's like asking these people that, for IBP, well, they quit their job. We offered them a job in Texas, but they didn't take it when we closed the plant. They didn't make another job to save them. So if she didn't want to do the band, that's gonna be a dying breed anyway, because nobody wants to do that. So where are you gonna fill that? So why can't we figure out a way to fill that if you don't wanna take the band, offer her another, fill her with something else for that half a day.
And we've done that at different years.
I just, man, that's,
The year before sharing, she worked on
I don't,
organizing
it's,
music in the music room. And then the year or two before that, she would sub in the morning.
well, that's right, like, that's subbing, we always lacking subs that she couldn't fill that. The way that, she's not leaving because she doesn't like it at school, she's leaving because the band, our band left, our band person left. Because the band can't get people for band anymore, nobody wants to sit in the basement and practice, back when I was in band, it was tough, but now it's really, because everything else, so now, when that went to heck, it's just going down, it's just an effect of the band thing is why we're losing her. So now we're gonna have, our young kids don't have a music teacher that's like we have, that she was so excellent with, to get them ready for high school. We don't have that, so now our existing choir is gonna look like our band because of that. We're gonna lose a lot by a bus driver, or her and her two kids. So that money we're gonna lose 16,000 from our kids too, so you couldn't take that and help make her stay here somehow. I don't know, we don't do the math somehow, I don't know. Anyway, I just said what I wanted to say, so. You can go.
The way I understood is she was gonna get full-time, just elementary music at Hinton.
Yeah, K6 is what I read, yeah.
Okay, by her resignation.
Hmm.
Which is probably,
And we can't provide that, is that because of numbers, like K through 6? All day.
Currently she does K5 half a day. And then Daniel picks up his 6, right? I'm saying that right, I just wanted to make sure I'm correct. I think Hinton has, there are three to four section school, right? Depending on the grade. So they have.
There's plenty of positions that lady could have filled, other than music. But
So what are we missing?
it's too late then, it's too late now, she already took the job there.
So we have a motion, we need a second for that.
Like, we really haven't, I mean, she's resigned, we can't, by not accept her resignation, she's not gonna stay. And you can't force her to stay because,
Well, that's not good.
yeah. So I will second it with that.
All right, we have a motion and a second, all in favor, all opposed?
I'll oppose it, not because we can't do anything about it, I just oppose that he's leaving. That's all I'm saying.
Motion passed. All right, the consideration of an out-of-state trip for the archery team.
Yes, so Utah couldn't be here tonight. She wrote a letter. I included it in there. Not sure if you have time to read it. But for her support of the trip. It's there.
Consideration.
What do we need to do or what on this item?
None.
No, just approve it. Yeah.
Because we've already
Board
basically,
policy, overnight stays, out of state, we have to approve, the board approves.
the one thing I guess, I think we should maybe consider, and I mean, obviously, I'm not opposed to them going, I'm not opposed to that at all. Do we need to look at a policy for future trips, things as far as like going to a national, a criteria coming in, like Dan was saying, like last time, we're gonna get more groups, so do we need to start looking into a criteria of this is what you have to do to qualify to be able to go to nationals, and maybe we can't do it every year, or you have to, like in their case, they met the criteria for the score that they needed, but they finished 30th in the state of Iowa. Do we want to make a contingency that you need to maybe be in the top, 5, 10 or something, make an added thing there, or at least look into, do we need to have a policy? Or look at our policy for national.
Just throwing it out there, kind of the devil's advocate of that. I could probably see that more if the district is funding it. If we're just approving that they can use our name, likeness, program to go, because they are funding everything. But I'm not saying that's not a bad idea, I don't know what's right in this situation.
I don't either, I just kind of throw that out there, that do we, for future trips and future things, do we need to start looking into maybe having a group, maybe with.
Hasn't been an issue till now at all.
Well, yeah, does this apply any other sport or?
Well, all of the,
anything?
like our high school sports, none of those,
It's just
there
state.
is no national, we go to state, yet I know like the FFA goes to the national convention, and I think that's wonderful that they need to,
Yeah, it used to be they went every other year. Now, since we've had a couple of kids be state officers and such, they've gone every year. So then, kind of the gentleman's agreement with Mr. Thompson, once you don't have state officers, we'll go back to the every other year, but it get some pretty gung-ho kids who want to do it, then they come to you guys.
I don't want to deny kids opportunities.
Right.
I don't want to
But-
back us into a corner
Yeah,
without having a policy or having
I agree, I mean.
is it something we need, or is it, what, we can handle it as it comes, I don't know.
Well, it used to go to state, it used to be a high, that was one in a million, now it's pretty common.
True. I mean, it's more common.
Well,
Yeah, I can,
Yeah.
You qualify easier, I guess.
Mhm.
I don't know, I agree that,
I mean, and it'd be better,
it's everywhere.
get first in state and, not have the.
not be able to go, that would be.
Yeah.
Like I say, I think this is a wonderful opportunity for them. They're probably not placing, but it'll be a trip that they'll remember, and that there'll be a lot of things that they'll learn from it and in it, but. So I don't want to deny opportunities, but I also don't want to back us into it kind of leading a little bit off of when you were talking that last time,
Yeah.
you know it down the road, things are
Yeah.
coming in.
Yeah.
Encouraging kids to be in things is awesome, because the more they're involved in other things, the better. I mean, absolutely, all of every single study says they're gonna do better in school when they're more active, they're gonna, the things that they learn, those stuff. I'm not trying to do that, I just don't know if that was something we maybe wanna look into. We don't have to do it tonight.
No, I think a little structure would help with, guidelines on it, because then you prevent the confusion that we've seen a little bit.
We need to work on that, come up with some wording
Okay. Yeah, maybe do a little like,
Rock.
little AI research for the next meeting and say,
Yeah.
can we put in
then. Oh, yeah, there you go, AI, that's what we need right there.
Do we need a motion?
Motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the out-of-state trip for the archery team.
I second that.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
I,
All opposed? All right, and the same thing for the fundraiser.
I'll make a motion to approve the fundraiser for the archery trip for students.
I'll second that.
All right, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right. Consideration of the 2026 graduating.
I don't think we should let them leave.
Everybody with the sign off, yeah.
I know. I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 graduating class.
I'd second that.
All right, motion and second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. Now the calendar. Talk about that.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2025-2026 school year calendar as we discussed earlier.
26.
26, 27.
26.
Oh, it says 25,
Oh,
26,
yeah.
and
I read it right.
Yeah. He did, yeah.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026-2027 school calendar. as we discussed.
And we know that we can improve this one and we still make changes, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Second.
I got a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passes. All right, school budget.
All right, I just wanted to go a little over this for you. It's online, so the community can view it as well. All the documents, heck of a spreadsheet here, or a slideshow, I'm sorry. Starts off with enrollment and different kinds of enrollment, something we don't talk a lot with you guys about our special education weightings. And those are dollars that come down the road. We don't see them right away. And then we have supplementary weighting, total weighting, and then preschool's kind of all by itself. We're steady 2 years in a row with that at 15.5. We have anyone that's interested, what is spending authority, how do we get it? And then it kind of going through here, what we can do, what our guarantees are. This is a slide I just wanted to stop on where we're at. Our budget guarantee declined $187,000. So next year will be $187,000 less. And that's for the education of our kids. Go through special education weighting. Some of our students have gotten out of special ed. That is great. That's what we want. Or graduated. But with that, we have a decrease in funding, which rolls over to if by the time we receive this money down the road, if we have more kids back in the program, then we're going to be decreased. So you're always fighting a losing battle. And we talk about that special ed balance during the CAR time and trying to make sure we can get as close as possible to not going over. But it's very hard when by the time you receive your money, your kids are different. Teacher salary supplement in here increased 1.2%. PD dollars decreased 2.7. Early intervention down 2.3. Teacher leadership down 2.4. Kind of seeing a trend, even though, as we were talking earlier, the SSA went up 2%. When you get down to it, to these funds, and or if you have less students, then all these start declining or drop off. Dropout prevention is down 27,000. This has to do with the AEA, so median ed services is a big deal. So as we go through here, there's a lot of things in here, but now we're gonna talk about taxes. You kind of see how that compares to the previous year, what it looks like. Our instructional support will be down almost 18,000 next year in that category. And this looks better online, but non-general fund levies, then those are all the things that pay for our staff, pay for benefits, insurance, those kind of things. Now we get down to the other things. And yeah, some wording isn't there. But down below, you can see management fund, that's something we've been talking about. And we need to change, we've increased the levy in there by 283,000. I just received a renewal on our breakdown insurance. Guess what? That went up. Property insurance we'll receive in June. I'm guessing that went up. So last year was a big one going up. The one that looks good is that new plan we got in for property insurance to help cover that catastrophic. That is gonna stay the same. That plan's been doing pretty good for us. Physical plant and equipment. Down there, we've used a lot of those funds. Activity fund really does well. Our debt service fund is now going to have something in it because of the saved debt service. The nutrition fund has been coming down, but by what I'm seeing through this year, we're doing really well with our new system and may kind of level off a little bit better there. Sales tax fund, that's another one. And as we've been reducing or not receiving as much is what they're telling us is going to happen. The webinars I've been on, they've actually, revenues coming in from sales tax have been doing a lot better than they thought they would. So that was the bright star. Now the star is the legislature saying, well, we don't think you should have all of that. So again, this kind of goes through all the different tax rates. This one has percent change down at the bottom. We really kept everything at about a 2%, and that's between the actual and budget year. And that's the end of that. So if you do have a community member that has questions on it, you can always refer them to this, or I can refer them to me and I will go over it with them. That, in a nutshell, is where we're at with the budget. I think it went pretty well this year. Any questions on the budget?
We got plenty of money, huh?
Not as much next year as we would like, but now just a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the year 2027 school budget.
Assessment?
I'll second it.
You got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, consideration of the fiscal year 2027 contract with WATCC.
Contracts down there for you to click the link on. It is a yearly thing we do. There is a little difference this year with the courses. They just can't pick anything. And WIT, counselors were kind of not thrilled with that, but then I went through there and I was like, there's more classes than I think high school kids should take.
I think the way they worded it the first time, it made it sound like this list was not what they could take, but then it was clarified that this is what they could.
Confusion is bad.
It doesn't, we're gonna prove it, and just out of curiosity, I know it's been a program that's been widely used, I mean, you still.
I think we're at 70 kids signed up already for next fall.
What grade can they start?
Their state, they can start as freshmen. So we really try to say second semester earliest of your freshman year, just so you can get lined up.
Yeah.
I know there's legislation of talking where if a student fails the class, they have to reimburse the district for it, which would be nice because, some
That's
kids.
going back to the old days. where
Yeah,
we used to
because
do
you have kids that
parents.
sign up for 2 classes and
then they fail.
fail and then, it's detrimental to their transcripts, but.
It's free.
I think
Yeah.
that'd be good.
Yeah, so
Ain't that good?
hopefully that happens. But our kids do really well, we have a lot of kids leave with a lot of good credits.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll make a motion that we approve the fiscal year 27 contract with Western Iowa Tech Community College.
I'll second that motion.
Got a motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion passed. All right, now CMDB contract.
Okay, so we've gone about as far as we can, working with CMBA on what we could do for our secured front of the building, using dollars we already have. They were gracious, they worked with us to kind of get a feel, could this be possible, should we do it, that kind of thing. So now the time is the contract. This is kind of where we started years ago when we were doing the bond thing and going through that and working with CMBA. This is the initial contract. Exactly the same monetary, the money's different because of the size of the project, the scope is smaller. But the language is the same as they worked out with our attorneys the first time we did a contract with CMBA. So this would be to start the process of working on the front of the school, getting the secured entrances.
So where's that, how much is that then? What that, or am I probably it's in here somewhere?
Yeah,
How much is that security entrance proposed at town?
how much would it be
What's the proposal to do?
for the total cost of the project?
What they're gonna do?
What they're gonna do would be up to $75,000
That's
to work on this project.
Okay, so what are we gonna do out here then? What's the latest on this then? We have a scope of what they're gonna do. I know redo the entrance.
Yeah, replacing the entry doors, putting on all the hardware that we want and having an entrance that the secretaries are able to view.
So there's no structural changes, just the doors?
Doors, there'll be inside structural changes.
They're not moving to the classrooms or the offices or nothing?
No,
Okay.
well, offices will be changed, like, remember our ISS rooms?
Yeah, I remember
Those have to be larger.
Yeah,
And so then the old boardroom will take out that kitchen area there
okay,
that's in there.
okay.
And then those rooms will get bigger. So we'll redo those rooms.
Okay, so is there a drawing? Where's that latest on that?
That's
Oh, that's what they're.
after we do,
They're doing the design work.
they would do the design work.
Okay, okay, so then how much money do we have? How much money is to do this then? What's that budget to do? What's that entail? How much money is that project entail? Or we're looking at?
Then Klinger would get into it and say, this is the cost of it
We don't know.
based on the design.
We don't know what that is then.
What I talked to Chad at White, and he said, as he looks at it, to give me a ballpark figure.
It's like 5
you know,
million or 10 million or?
about $1 million.
Okay. And then where would this come from then? Where's this, what?
This would come out of the save bond that we had, that we used on our projects. So it'd be the remaining dollars that we have on there, is ideally what we would use.
Do we have any other, is there any other option as far as like, what's the guy here in town that does all the industrial doors?
Steve Jewett?
No,
Stoller.
Justin, who's the guy in town, is the
Clemson.
I mean, is there like, can we do some, is there any other option, I mean, do we have to go here and then have to go to Klinger, or do we have a, in-house option at all? Is there anything that?
You know, we've done that option with the other doors. This is a different project where we would go through the brick wall in this entry. And things will have to be rerouted, HVAC will have to be looked at. It won't be the same. I mean, we can do some of that on our own if we want to go that route.
This thing? I'm sorry.
No, can I just say, I was all for the bond issue, I'm all for trying again, I don't know if we got a chance of getting it through. So, I mean, and I would say that the biggest downfall of our bond issue was people were like, oh, this is still gonna be, you know, I like all the ideas, but $9 million, that's a lot of money. I don't wanna, again, I'm not asking the, but if,
I thought it was $1 million.
well, I'm just saying.
Well, that
if we
was the
did bond issue,
last bond was 9.
it was $9 million, I didn't know if we had, what options we may have, if we have any other options, or we're,
And
this is kind of.
Does CMBA have a budget to stay in then? Or they just?
that would be the budget they'd stay in for this project.
Is around
And
$1
they're,
million.
and they're full, they were, I mean, kind of what we're on the save.
Yeah, okay,
So,
that's
I
right.
mean, that's a good estimate there.
And that's about $1 million, you think? Is that what, like what's left in the save to use?
It should be over that, yes, but it's saying that we'd be within that
You're
constraint.
saying Klinger is gonna be $1 million to do this out here?
No,
Oh.
no, the total project.
The total project, all said and done, is $1 million.
Well, that's what Chad Wright was looking at when we're said and done. And he was just guessing ballpark. His exact words were, there's no way it could go over that, you know? And it's hard because he has nothing to go by except kind of what we talked about with the signs. I got an idea. We can just move on, do the next item. We're gonna go out and look at the softball, baseball. On our way out, we'll go through and kind of discuss what they were walked through, what we talked about, and kind of see what we think, you know, put your minds together and, yeah.
I'm kind of, in this, you know, do we got to vote on this to contract today for
We don't-
CMBA?
We don't have to, we can wait on it,
Well-
but this would give us a view.
Okay, well, if it's gonna cost you $75,000, which that's not an issue there, I guess, but if the project's not that big to warrant that, I mean, usually you have these guys, of course, that's a continuation of what we have, so we've got to keep that in mind too. But if your project isn't that big that you need to contract with a big contractor to do it, you got your own, I mean, you can stay within your own area, but I'm just out loud, I don't.
Yeah, no.
Me, but
And
keep
with what
less
you're
players to
saying-
get the job done rather than more players to do the same thing. That's all.
Yeah, that's why I walk.
And end up with the same thing, quality, I mean, that's all. So, yeah.
And when we do that, the contract, kind of a limit thing, when we receive a bill from them, it's by hour. you know?
Oh, that isn't, that's not that 75 grand isn't, not that I'm trying to, them guys are good guys to work with, I work with them too as well, but that they're gonna bill out of that 70, it's not a contract that you send them, once we sign it, they get the 75,000.
Correct.
To start it.
No,
Okay.
they show us proof of work.
Okay, that's different,
Hours.
okay,
Kind of like a retainer.
Yeah,
okay, I got it, it's just not a,
They have their abilities in.
I got it, okay, that's different.
yeah,
It was a,
good question.
Good clarification.
well, yeah, I thought it was a retainer type thing, you pay this, now we're tied up.
They can bill up to that amount, you're saying.
Basically.
Pretty much, okay, got it. What do you want to do?
You guys this time, or do you want to come back and revisit after you take a look? Or?
Let's do playground,
Okay.
then go do our walkthrough.
Revisit. All right, playground.
It's good to stay with the same contractor, I agree with that, once you start a project, you say it's the same guy, but if that's what you need to do, if you're gonna change something up, and in the original plan, it's okay. Whatever.
Okay, so here we go with the playground. Shelby and I worked with the playground committee and we put a lot of stuff together, just like all the other building projects. It's messy and you try to find a way through it. Sent you the video that they had for that, and then you have all the links in here, you know, all the prices. We know we got to do something about the preschool playground. So when we got to it, the total bid for all the equipment for the new playground, the new surface for the new playground, and the preschool playground surface came to $404,389.16. I had a mini heart attack. I knew, you know, it was gonna add up. I just didn't know it would go to that. And everybody really liked the design, that kind of thing. And then I'm gonna skip down, then I did, okay, what if we phase it? We talked about that for building projects before. What if we just take out the old equipment, except for the swings, and we do the new play set, the web twirler, the seat spinner. We do that in place for about a third of the size of the total project of that. And we do the surface for the preschool, which we know needs to happen. Well, that comes to $228,000 if we would do that. That is this picture here. And you see this blue line. I chose the wrong blue because it's leaking. So that's everything above that. So that's this structure, that spinner, and this would all be surface. And then that is that $228,748.
Is it, I know you told me this
And
once before, the basketball surface, does that have to be resurfaced? Because, or that stays as is?
That stays as.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're just talking about this third of a chunk here. with the preschool, $228,000. While
That's just for the surface? No.
for everything up here. So, okay. So this, all this here, this L shape is 404.
For the playground equipment and the surface?
Yeah, and the surface. This little piece here is 228 because it's got the most of the.
With the surface or without the surface?
With the
With the
surface,
surface.
yeah. So 404, 228. And then, she had this idea today. So it's the back side of your sheet. And so taking that third part, that blue part, and then actually doing the swings and the other part down below. So this is where you can see through there, there's a little bit of our structures already. And so all that would be surface, and then ideally over here where you see the old playground equipment, that would be part of a soccer field we'd be putting in for the kids, a dedicated soccer thing. So we would want grass there. Get rid of the gravel, put in grass. I mean, that's gonna take a little time to grow and everything, but that's the idea. So blue and red, oh,
What's the green circles?
okay, that's what's equipment that's already there. Okay, so, in my conversation with, Shelby and Kelsey today, after I had received this, this is what they're looking at here, and that's the bid on the sheet. We're subtracting 2,000 square feet, so that puts this project at approximately $357,000 if we would do that. Still a heck of a lot of dollars. With that being said, Justin and I haven't had a lot of time to talk because things are green outside and he's been trying to control all that, as you heard during his report. There's a lot of things off this bid that we think we can do ourselves, and that will bring the cost of the project down. Not incredible amounts, but there's, 10,000 here, 8,000 here.
20 at most.
Yeah,
How much?
20 at most.
so we can bring it down about 20,000.
You still have the material, that you gotta.
What's all this surface down here now?
Gravel. Peat gravel.
B-rock.
And it don't work or what?
We sent over the neighbors.
It goes everywhere.
I've always been that way.
Pockets, shoes.
Oh, yeah.
But like I say, on that one sheet, it was saying that surface is no longer really improved by,
Yes.
I was reading that.
Your liability goes up with that,
With what?
with that service,
With
gravel.
With gravel, the other ones is.
You have to rake the gravel, make sure that where you have the higher part of the structure, there's more gravel there, that it's evenly out through the rest of it. It's in today's world become.
So where's this money, would this come from then?
This would come through PEPA.
So that's with the pea gravel and the equipment. Is there, so there's no equipment and you got the tile or whatever it is?
Poured in surface.
Poured in surface. So is there a liability with the, not doing the poured in surface there and doing pea gravel? Where there's not equipment, because the poured in, surface is.
What's under the playground equipment now? That's gravel?
That gravel.
That'd be right.
The new playground has the poured in place.
Right.
Are you replacing that then too? No.
No, not at this time.
So this don't have to go to this just comes out of that pebble fund, that don't have to be voted on,
No, not, it's just the board that votes on it.
I know too, we got the those bids. Do we need it? I'm just thinking, you know, when we bought the vans, we had like 5 bids for $50,000 van. And we only got 1 bid for $500,000 on the equipment. Is there do we need to get another bid? Should we get another bid? Is there another bid?
You can, again, this is through the AEA purchasing, so they're a preferred client through them, so we get the best purchase price. They bid into it, so what their price is, we get 10% of that. And so we pay 1 bid.
Do we,
Yeah. but,
does it cost us anything to have somebody else? So we can say, so I go back to the constituents and say, we took the lowest bid, we get it for this versus, you know.
Yeah.
Cause if I'm thinking that a little bit, I guarantee somebody out in the public's gonna say, hey, wait, did you guys take the lowest bid? We took the only bid. I mean, do we need to kind of protect it a little bit that way or not?
Well, even if I'm with you on that one, even if you had the service rebid, not just, if you like the playground equipment, I mean, is that surface, I mean, if you had one or the other, I mean, you got it broken down for equipment and surface. I mean, test the waters anyway to see where it's at. I mean,
We started, remember, on the preschool playground, you know, we did that.
Okay.
And then the other competitor was higher, but
I don't know.
that was just one other competitor. And that was with a product that was supposed to be cheaper than the poured in place that we're looking at.
And then we gotta replace it because it wasn't as good.
So, we certainly can. We can get anything
You don't want cheap.
done.
Like I said, we don't necessarily want the cheapest bid, but we want the quality, but I'm just saying,
Keeping everybody honest.
do we wanna kind of get another idea or another price on it, just to be able to say, we looked at other options and this is our best option. We decided that for the quality and for the workmanship and for the cost, this was our best option. We wanna do we owe that to our taxpayers and to our constituents, I guess my question.
Yeah, I've been on,
This, for the 228,000. I mean, what's your thoughts there? Yeah. I mean, for the phase B, I mean, if you only use the poured in place of a third of the area. What's your opinion? What do you think?
I kind of like that for the fact of getting that part done.
And it's around the new equipment.
And getting the old equipment out, getting the new equipment in, and we've got that, and then we could look at phasing a little more through.
I agree.
And if you want, we can look at more bids that direction. As you know, I've been talking about SAVE and PEPAL all night, and the uncertainty, that's, what keeps me up at night, and so I want to make sure we do right for the district. And if the board wants us to try a non-AA.
Well, is there only one AA approved one?
Yeah,
well, Shelby's been all over this, you're part of this committee. So what's your take on it? Huh?
Which on the spot.
Amy's in the committee, so get her.
Well,
opinion.
I mean, what do you think? I mean, I'm sure you've looked at with the ADA and all that jazz. You think that's the thing to do is just move forward with this? You've done homework on it, I'm sure.
I think it's a lot of money, especially with what we're considering of what we're wanting. I know it's all great ideas. It's something that we would really love to have on the elementary. But I mean, I personally feel like I would be opposed. I would be more, for the phasing, depending on cost. Or, yeah, if you guys are more wanting to see what we could get for another bid, just to have that comparison of, okay, this is what we're getting from this company.
So if we do some exploratory, it's not gonna hurt your feelings to do that.
No, not, I mean, we kind of put together, the committee did, we've met and they put together kind of an idea of what they wanted for their big playground. And then other, I mean, they were pretty strategic about it, other things that they know that kids are playing with these days. So everything is very well thought out.
Yes.
It's a great idea. It just stinks when you look at the dollar amount because it is just a lot of money. And so again, I think it's something that if we are able to have, great, but it's one of those, if it has to become in phases, then it has to become in phases, or if we wanna branch out to other options, I mean, that's totally up to the board, you're the one that have to approve.
The only negative I always think of phasing is this is the bid now.
It'll cost a
Yeah.
little bit more, I'm sure.
It's gonna cost more if we
But
phase it. And I would say, I would like to go on record or whatever. I really appreciate all the work that you guys have done and this
Amy Weisman, yeah, everybody.
this is awesome what you've got to present and I just think it's wonderful. I walk by that playground equipment every morning when I walk the dog and think, yeah, we gotta do something
Yeah.
different. It's gotta be done. You know, we can't have what's there, it's gotta.
So this is new, we hadn't seen this yet, or is this phase? The phase.
The red and blue,
Yeah,
yeah, I
That
just
was-
got
that
it
was
after school, after my bus route.
yeah, I mean, I like the idea of this because again, like Shelby was saying, this addresses the immediate need, we need a big play set because the other one is legitimately falling apart in places. I guess, and then like the red part has the swing and a few other things, but we have swings that are there. We have things that are in this spot. My biggest fear in, I guess, if we do the phasing, I would like to set a plan for, okay, in 2-3 years, phase 2 comes back onto the conversation. I would just, if we're gonna do 2 phases, I would like to set a plan.
I think we need to, yes. Because otherwise it gets pushed back,
It
pushed
falls
back forward.
off because things, we have those things, we have things in place, so. But again, I think the phasing makes sense because it addresses the most prominent needs that we have.
And also the public eye, in my eyes, when you got this big $500,000 here, and you're gonna put in $500,000, $8 million for
Yeah.
the school front end, and all these numbers, you got, the ratio is gotta meet
Yep.
to.
what's the difference between this and that's just phasing?
Like 200, no, 100.
Well, the,
About,
the thing she came up with, this,
$150,000.
with the red, was to make it the price lower, so we would do blue and red all together now.
Oh, okay, so it's just pretty,
Yes,
it's
it's
a phasing, okay.
It's taking 2,000 square feet out.
And because on this, do you have a soccer field?
No, I mean, that's gonna be our project.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Well,
But this on the back side, this one area that isn't outlined is where you were thinking soccer field area. That,
Yeah, where the swings are now,
okay.
eventually, if we do something like this and we need that gravel over there, it's gotta stay over there, for the time being. But eventually, we wanna get to the place where all that gravel's gone, we can have grass there, we can have a couple soccer nets, and they can play there.
What's the advantage since we only have one preferred, I mean, besides being preferred, I mean, what's the true advantage of going through them and not?
A reduced rate and 10% off of that.
That was just a scary thing to me when that deal comes up. When that pooling, well, if with this company, you're gonna save this because this is what everybody does, then, well, yeah, because there's some tie-in to this company somewhere, but.
Is it 10%? Would that come off of the 400,000 or is that 400,000 figure with the 10% reduction?
With the
Okay.
10%.
So
That's 40,000.
Yeah. I didn't do that. 10%
I didn't mean that.
I know, I appreciate it.
I was just doing some math on.
Well, that would be like
No, I'm
this
just-
one.
I'm giving you a hard time.
And it would be,
But
I don't have an approximate number for that, but I took the square footage, divided it out, subtracted, came up with 327. If we did something like that, I would say, accept a bid for no more than 365. But then we know we're gonna take 20,000 off that for what we're going to do.
So for another, whatever, 200,000. So for a short 200,000, we could just get new swings.
150 something. Oh, yeah. Even less than 200,000.
It's true, the surface area is what's so expensive.
No, that's what I'm saying, really, you're just getting the surface.
Yeah, and that third one takes 2,000 square feet out of that. So less rooms, a little more condensed, it would be fine. I was gonna see.
How soon?
Well, the difference between 140,000.
Yeah, if we
And,
kick the can, I mean.
Well, they say, yeah,
it's gonna cost-
if we approve this tonight, how soon can they start? I mean, is this something that can be done for next school year, or if we wait a month,
If we wait a month, yeah, we're pushing it to next school year
do they,
kind of thing.
We think we
Or
can get-
working while we start school, which is not a good idea.
yes.
We're, and I'm not saying,
Do they think we can get
we
this done
can.
in the summer if we approve tonight?
yeah. Or, if we have a new meeting to approve whatever bids we got 2 weeks from now, maybe that'll work time-wise.
I think.
We just probably wouldn't want to go,
Too much.
we're gonna approve it on May 20th, isn't it? And say, then they can get it done, because they got order.
Yeah.
wait for the ship.
And you gotta put it on there, they got other schools and other places that are, they're not setting for our business and gonna be guaranteed that we're gonna, jump right on top of them the second we say go.
I don't think it's a bad idea to get extra bids and then
I do too.
do another meeting.
I do too. I think I'd test the waters on some of that. That high, that big a number, that almost have a million.
Now, this is a totally different budget, but I got this from Woodbury Central when they did their playground, totally different. So I can't say high or low, but they got a bid from one company for $599,000. The next company was $557,000. The next company was $587,000. And then the last company was $366,000.
But we don't know what it was.
They were not all exactly the same. I remember them saying that. So,
They're close, so the top ones.
yeah, the top ones were close. So, I don't know if that helps or hurt. None of those companies were the ones that we've been talking to.
Like I said, I like the idea of getting the bid, and if they come in more, great, then we're going with the one that we know is already approved and things. If they come in a lot less, then we do have to take a look at their quality, but at least we kind of say, we did our due diligence, we really looked into the possibility of,
I'd
So-
like to get it done as soon, maybe if we.
and I think we need to have a meeting soon so that if we can.
Yeah, I'm good with
That we can, we need a bid and we need it within, a week, and we're gonna have a meeting and look at the bids.
Well,
It shouldn't take them long
Well,
to do it. You already have it. You can lay it out who it's from. You can basically show them the pictures and say, here's what we want, something similar to this, have it back to us in a week. No.
it.
Man, Mr. Positivity.
You need to set a deadline. If you don't, you're out the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
well, that's what I do.
Yeah,
Hey,
it's-
deadline for the year.
are you, you want to work with this or get out?
Yeah. Depends how hungry they are.
The longer you give them, the more accurate it is. the way I-
So you would look to have like yellow in the back, the blue and the red together. Is that what we're trying to?
I agree with that.
What I'm hearing is that the blue, this one,
like
just red.
You're right down.
And like she said, I think it's a good idea.
Oh, he.
I don't know.
But this
Sure,
red
it's
is
right
now
brought up.
Yeah.
Oh,
well, I can do it.
So the red right now is.
It's a $500,000 project.
What is
All
it?
blue, red, and
I mean-
everything left of that.
Well, the most time, if I got one, I got it.
Didn't
I got
I'm
one.
just asking, why does this red have to be this?
I want to be, you know,
Why
Why does the red have to be this surface?
They're putting equipment.
There will be a swim.
There will be new equipment.
What will be there?
In this scenario, swings, spinners, and then that wave thing.
There's that video,
I mean,
And
all that surface just because of the swings?
You never jumped out of the swing when.
Yeah, we did, you know what was underneath?
Yeah.
Rock and grass. Well, I might be finding it hard to understand, but
Hey,
have to have the extra.
No.
I'm sorry.
we'll send Lucas off. That's so that's that on.
It's okay.
That may be.
I remember my son coming over and saying, I think I broke my arm at the softball game. Yeah, you did. Can you wait till the game's over before I take you in?
So we're gonna say this died for a lack of a
Yeah.
second.
We have to make a motion to get
Yeah,
another bid.
No.
Okay.
It's just gonna let that.
we're just gonna let it die.
So we're gonna table it
But we're gonna bring it back up again. Yes.
2 weeks
To do it.
Until.
or whatever. We should get that. Get that out.
There ain't gonna be nothing to bring up, you don't have another bid anyway, correct? I mean, that's what we're looking to see, some comparisons.
Can't you do that through this thing here, email? I mean, and once you get the bids in, we have to have another meeting?
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, if you're gonna approve it.
because we have to vote, right?
Prove an amount.
You could prove, like I have, you can leave out the name of the company and motion to approve the playground project,
Not to exceed,
not to exceed.
Yeah, you could, not to exceed that 400,000, 404,000.
It'd be 365.
275.
But if it's phase, is that 365, the first phase? I confuse myself anymore.
That would be the whole thing minus the 2,000 square foot.
That'd be more than.
That's a whole thing, so
That's these two,
we
so.
technically don't want to approve it for the 360.
No, I was,
So
That would be
the phase,
404 then.
I think you should wait,
Yeah,
my opinion.
yeah, I agree. I would just guess.
That would be like.
Well, if it goes for another month, if we wait till the next meeting to get this all put together, like, what's that gonna hurt?
It won't be done
By when?
next school year.
School year.
That's what they're worrying is that if you don't get something in.
if we don't get something
Get it
going.
done or something,
but we can,
Well,
it takes a week or
you could
two.
put that in your bid, put whatever package you're sending out, that it's gotta be done by then.
Right,
Ooh.
and we can have a noon phone meeting.
Yeah,
That's
we
what
used
I
to.
meant, by that's your phone, have a meeting.
Let's do that.
Seth doesn't even drive when we're not tracking it on GPS.
like this now.
Don't worry.
Okay.
What table?
At the risk of getting close enough for maybe extending this a little bit. I don't know if I can do this legally, not do this legally, but I'm gonna at least bring it up and say that I tried. I have a personnel question issue that I have in my attention. I know we can't talk about it here because we didn't give a 24-hour notice on it. Can I move for a request for a closed session to talk on a personnel matter within 24 hours so we can give public notice of 24 hours of a personnel matter to talk about? Am I in my legal,
There's a lot of conditions there.
like I said, I tried to look a little bit at AI today, and I honestly, I can't tell that I know if I can do it or can't do it, but
Why don't we talk about that and go through, and then I can make sure with the attorney that we're
because
above board.
there's a,
Depends if it's about me or not.
well, how much can I say and not be,
He's gonna say that out loud.
if I say name and a little bit of the bill, am I putting us in jeopardy
I
of,
think so.
of
Yeah.
no name?
No.
We have a employee that I would like to see if we can avoid the same issue that we had with Lansbury. And it's
That's a great idea, whatever it is.
And it's one of those issues where it is a time-sensitive thing based on their position. That they have been issued an offer from another school, and then they have to give them a response to the offer in a timely fashion like Friday. So I mean, we're a little under the gun.
That'd be up to Jay, that's Jay's job.
Okay, that is
And I don't know if, I
Probably
don't know
not.
if I'm in a legal,
a closed session thing.
yeah, that's what I'm saying,
That would be more of a board workshop thing.
and I don't know if, like, say, if we can have if there's anything we can do between now and Friday, if we go to the close, can we go to a closed session and have a phone meeting or whatever on it?
A closed session, you would have to, no, there's a lot more to it. You have to provide time, that employee has to be notified and have the option to come to the meeting. There's gotta be some things done in writing for that.
Okay. Yeah. It should be, you should be able to share that with our superintendent, and then that worked out between him and that individual. I mean, that's his job.
Yeah.
Just like, if you can foresee something, I would think, I'm speaking out of turn too maybe, but if you can foresee something, he knows about it, that should be able to be taken care of without coming here. Because that's what he does, supposed to do. So, I don't know, that's kind of the way that's supposed to work, that's what I was told. But I don't know what we can do. Anyway,
Yeah, I don't know, I mean,
I think have a private conversation about it, then or no?
Can we?
yeah,
Yeah,
If it's more than what, 3, or if it's.
we can't have,
3.
we
Can't.
can't have three of us,
It's
right.
gotta be public.
Yeah.
So,
and
and maybe,
So
I can go, I'll be willing to open up my schedule tomorrow.
yeah, I think
Whatever you guys
be
want to
done.
do, and we can discuss it.
I think that's,
would you be available after we get back from the track meet tomorrow? I don't know, sure what time we're gonna be. We get that track meet at home where we're leaving them. Just to have a quick conversation, I don't know if it's quick, hopefully quick, but not too long.
I got it, you can skip soccer.
well.
Okay.
When there's the talk, that it can be taken care of before it gets to this resignation thing, it can be fixed. Yeah. President.
Yeah, let's just set a time if you guys are good with that.
Or,
And I think you've been dealing with some already, you may have already some motion in motion, but I know that we can't necessarily discuss it right now, right here.
I agree.
So,
We're not
Yeah.
adjourning until after we go outside, right?
Right. The meeting will stay open. I'm gonna turn this off because then it's not just showing a blank room.
Put a GoPro.
That's-
Little